folks, and welcome to Paddock Pass, your pre-race edition for the 2019 Spanish Grand Prix. The European season starts here, and this, of course, is the race where traditionally the major upgrade packages have arrived on the cars. And we're expecting a bit of that this year. Let us start at Mercedes. It has been 4 1-2 finishes in a row for the reigning world champions. Nobody expected that when we last left here at the end of pre-season testing. We keep banging on about it every week. Ferrari were the favourites. Ferrari haven't lived up to expectations. Perhaps the biggest surprise being equally that Mercedes have managed to put in 4 1-2s in a row, but that Ferrari have only been on the podium 3 times in the first 4 races. Not even best of the rest in every race. That is an astonishing statistic and something we will come to in a moment. As I said, let's start with Mercedes. Let's start with the man who took the championship lead back at the last race in Baku, making up for his disappointment 1 year earlier, Valtteri Bottas. Renewed, reinvigorated, back on top of the standings, and looking towards and looking forward to this weekend in Barcelona, where the team, as we understand it, have a raft of upgrades and a car which will look quite different.
I'm looking forward to it, and obviously the only goal is to try and keep the lead, extend the lead one way or another again. So that's it's a nice target to have for the weekend, and also to see, based on winter testing, how good Ferrari is going to be, because they were strong here in testing, and we'll see now.
You guys apparently have quite a few upgrades on the car. How much are you looking forward to that? How worried are you that it might upset the balance of a car that you clearly feel at one with?
Well, in the past, normally upgrades for the team has been working quite nicely, so hopefully it will be the same case again. It is mainly aero stuff we're bringing, so trying to be more efficient on aerodynamics and hopefully bring some more downforce, which is something you really need around here. So it's always nice to feel the new parts and how they actually feel, and how much better the car is going to be, and also how much better the car is compared to the testing, because it's been developed quite a bit since. But we're not the only team bringing upgrades, so we'll see.
Should everybody then be worried that if you haven't necessarily felt on the front foot in the first 4 races of the year, that this upgrade package might allow you that confidence to believe that you have got the best car and the best package in the sport?
I don't know. I'm sure everyone is worried in the end, and but we also know the fact all the other teams, they are not going to stop, developing and working hard to try and beat us. We've been absolutely perfect as a team in the first 4 races, but is it 17 races to go? That's a lot, and we need to keep that momentum and maintain the hunger we have as a team.
And so to Ferrari, we could stand here and ask the questions and pontificate as to whether or not the strategies employed so far this year have been the correct ones, or whether, as we asked in Baku, the team was so scared of losing that they couldn't win. I think all valid questions to be asked. They have an engine upgrade this weekend. Will that be enough to put them into a position where they have the belief in themselves that they are the team to beat, that they don't see the need to employ a B strategy when the A strategy is the one they should be going for? There's a lot at the team that needs to kind of gel itself back together, but we are only 4 races into the season. It's not like this thing is a lost cause yet. We're going to talk to Sebastian Vettel, the lead driver at Ferrari, in a few moments, and I started by asking him a question not about Formula One, well, kind of about Formula One, but about football, because over the last 2 nights in the Champions League, we've seen incredible comebacks from Liverpool and Spurs at a point at which nobody thought they could possibly do enough to win. Does that kind of a comeback give the guys in red that same belief, that same inspiration? And it's not even the second leg of the semi-final yet, that they can pull back what has been a very, very disappointing start to the year.
Frankfurt playing tonight, so who's talking about Champions League when you have got EuroLeague? So,
but to turn around that kind of deficit, and it's only 4 races, but you guys haven't had the start you want. Does it show that for as long as you're in the fight, you got a chance?
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't think we needed those last 2 nights to see that. I think sport has shown in many different sports examples of a comeback. Since we obviously didn't win the first 4 races, we need a comeback. So let's see. But what matters most is that we are at the front or ahead at the end of the year. but we also are aware that the sooner we start being in front, the easier it will be to be ahead at the end.
How much of it comes down to mentality, of believing that you have the best package, that you have that ability to win, and that the others need to chase you rather than you chase them?
Well, I think the team is fired up, the spirit is good, and that needs to be there. Otherwise, you just make it harder for yourself. So obviously, we know as well that the last races we lost because we didn't have the speed. But we also know that we can, put it together, and we have a strong package. And hopefully we can make it even stronger this weekend to finally get ahead.
Interesting stuff from Vettel. Ferrari have an upgraded power unit this weekend. Going to be interesting to see the play between Ferrari and Mercedes. Upgrades, of course, coming thick and fast. No new power unit for Haas this weekend, however. They do have an upgraded aerodynamic package. They will be running different packages on their two drivers in Friday practice. I believe Romain Grosjean will have the new package, Kevin Magnussen will have the old package. As we return, as we said earlier, to the scene of pre-season testing, Haas looked great after testing, but thus far have flattered to deceive. Quick over one lap, not in a race. Think they've got on top of their tyre issues, but this will be the crux. This will be the real tell, whether they have answered those questions or whether, returning here, they're as lost as they have been over the first four races. As we said, no new power unit for them. That comes next race week, I should say, in Monaco. For now, though, just that upgraded package on the car for this weekend.
Yeah, it's good to be back in Europe and, on a track that we have been to this year as well with this car. And especially for us, we've been struggling a bit the last few races. So to come back to a track that we have been to before with, in winter testing and where we seemed happy with the car, I think it's going to be useful to learn a bit more about our problems and maybe, hopefully, find some answers.
That's the thing. Is it going to answer the questions that you've got about this? And if it doesn't, where does that leave you?
I mean, we just gotta keep trying and continue to learn and I guess look for answers. I think we've been very strong in qualifying this year and very weak in the race. So there is certainly something wrong, and we need to keep looking and look for answers.
You guys aren't going to get your upgraded power unit until the next race in Monaco. Does that matter for as long as you haven't got the tyres sorted out?
More power always matters, but we'll take it when we get it.
Been a while since we've had new motorhomes in the Formula One paddock. This weekend we've got two. The first one, so big you can't fit it all in the frame. Responsibly sourced timber from near the Grand Prix circuit, from near Spielberg, apparently has gone into creating this frankly beautiful creation behind me, which once again, as the old energy station did, will house both Red Bull and Toro Rosso. Let's speak to their drivers. Let's speak first to Pierre Gasly. Has not had the easiest start to the season, of course, we know that. Upgrades again for this team as they seek to improve rear end stability. The front end's good, and under braking in slow corners to the apex, they're good. It's the exit of those corners and then also through medium to high speed corners that the rear's twitching around and is costing them. I think Max Verstappen, pound for pound, has probably been the most impressive driver in Formula One this season. He's got absolutely everything out of that car in every race. Pierre, though, there is a lot still to come from him. Is this the weekend where it all comes good for him, for the team, with their upgrades as we return to Europe?
Basically, we have some upgrades and will make us faster. Let's put it that way. Hopefully faster. So of course, Barcelona is always a place where everybody brings major upgrades from the beginning of the season, and we'll have to assess how it goes on Friday. Hopefully, it can put us closer to the guys in front, and hopefully, we'll be able to give them all the time.
Given that all of the pre-season testing took place here, will it be able to show how far the team's come since that point? Or, as I know you struggled on those early races, maybe where the team's taken a sideways step?
Yeah, I think it's pretty good point to assess. Of course, we have all the data and we know exactly what's happening in winter testing with the car and the balance we had. So it's a good place to really analyze all the progress we've made so far in the season. And I think on my side we're really going in the right direction. Baku was a step forward. I think all the development on the car will also go towards my liking and what I would like from the car. So really looking forward to see how it goes this weekend.
Given that obviously Baku didn't start perfectly, were you happy with the end result and what you were able to draw out of it?
Of course, I would have liked to finish the race and score the points starting from the pit lane, but no.
But up to the point of your retirement, you were flying through.
No, I think was great, especially from the only lap I did in Q1, put us right at the top and was just to get a feeling with the car. And I think just shows the work we're doing with the team, all the engineers. It's fair to say so far this season, so many things happened on our side, like obstacles every weekend. But I'm really confident we can put everything together and get better results. So we'll push for that, and hopefully we can start this weekend.
Pierre Gasly hoping it's going to come good this weekend, and with some good reason. Now, we all know how the Red Bull program works and that drivers are always under a little bit of pressure. One wonders if Pierre is already feeling that pressure. He's got two very quick, talented boys over here at Toro Rosso. Danny Kvyat, who has already raced up at Red Bull, and Alex Albon, who we're going to speak to in a little bit, impressing everybody with his first 4 races in Formula 1. Dan Ticktum is in the Red Bull program. He'll be testing here, I believe, next week for the team. There's a lot of promise in him, a lot of potential as well. And Red Bull today have just signed Patricio O'Ward, who is a monstrously, if you haven't heard of him, monstrously impressive young guy from Mexico, racing over in IndyCar. Now, there's some disagreement over how many super license point Patricio has got. A lot of people thinking he's only got 15. However, I think, it remains to be checked, but I am pretty firmly confident he has 41 and has already passed his super license and might even have it. And these guys might have already signed off on it for him. Thus, the announcement of him as part of their young driver program. If so, having Ticktum and O'Ward breathing down the necks of any driver that underperforms is a huge thing, because it means that there is that scope to move drivers up and down and out if needs be. Very Machiavellian. Let's talk to Albon. Don't think he's under any pressure. He's had a phenomenal start to the season, but has this weekend a challenge and a task ahead of him that he's never faced in his career. Always raced in one-make championships, never had a car to develop. This weekend, for the first time, a major upgrade package on the car, and his first time really in his career that he's going to have to deal with that.
Overall, happy with it. Happy with the first 4 races. I think learning still, surprises. The atmosphere, I'd say, it's intense, and the scheduling and everything is intense. But the driving is the bit where I feel most comfortable with, getting up to speed. Happy with it. I think if you told me come March that I would be, firstly scored points, I'd have took that. And it's going well. I think now I'm set quite high targets of myself, so I want to be more in them points and even really Q3s, but we'll see.
I know in Baku you were going to change the way that you sort of prepared for the rest of the weekend in your processes on Friday. Did that ever actually get to be put into effect though, because FP1 was cancelled?
Yeah, not really. Well, saying that, we started off the weekend very strong. Like, looking at it, FP2 we were quick, FP3 we were quick, and then Q1 we were quick. And then Q2 I just lost a bit of confidence with the car. With the track temp dropping so quickly, and because of all the red flags, the rhythm was disrupted, and a combination of everything, I didn't feel that good with the car in Q2. So basically, the whole weekend, I think, was a good weekend for pace, apart from Q2, which was kind of where I needed it. Obviously in the race, maybe it didn't look that good on paper, but it was a strong race, I still think, because we were pitted a bit late, so we came out kind of almost last, or 19th, I think, and we got up to P11, so it was still a strong race, but to answer your question, kind of yes.
This weekend, first major upgrades of the season. Obviously, for your entire career up to this point, you've driven a car that is ostensibly a one-make car, and you have to get used to that. Now you have to learn very quickly to get used to an upgraded car, a very changed car. Is that something you're looking forward to?
Yeah, it's new. As you said, it's something I've never experienced before. We've obviously had a couple of upgrades already coming through to Barcelona, but you would say that this is the place where everyone does their majority or their big updates. So yes, it will be different. It's more feedback to the team, making sure I give the right feedback. And but yeah, it's I enjoy it. Just tell them what I think. Obviously, hopefully it's good news, and we'll see.
Ooh, interesting. Walking from Toro Rosso to here, bumped into Christian Horner. You might have seen him walk behind me in the last shot. Christian, Patricio Award, does he have enough super license points? Christian's reply, yes he does. Have you signed his super license yet? Not yet, was the reply. There you go, he's got enough points. Fascinating. Right, and so too... these guys, and that guy. Nico Hülkenberg. Renault, I think, will be disappointed after the opening gambit of races. Not at all what they were expecting or hoped for. Power unit upgrade for these guys this weekend as well. Not for performance, though. And it's something that we talked to Cyril Abiteboul about last race, or maybe it was 2 races ago, and he admitted to us that they had cut some corners and they had ultimately sacrificed a little bit of reliability in order to try and get that performance increase this year into the power unit. Their developments for the power unit this weekend then are not from a performance related angle, but are instead... Hello! How are you? Are you leaving? Ah, come on, man. God damn it. Idiot. Are instead from a reliability perspective. So we'll talk to Hülkenberg. We said we were going to. We'll stick with that.
Nico, after the first 4 races, where do you think you are in terms of performance, both as yourself and as the team?
Yeah, we are where we are.
Are you sort of happy with that, or is it where you expected you'd be and coming into the season?
It was, 4 races. They've been, every weekend has its own story, kind of, but it's been a bit rocky, to be honest, and not the smoothest start to the season. We had a couple of races where we, did all right, and we scored points between Daniel and myself. Bahrain was obviously a big upset, which could have been the best race of the season, but then we had the power unit problem just before the end. Baku was kind of a weird one. It was a complete write-off that weekend. So, yeah, mixed feelings. Certainly not really satisfied or happy about it. But, here we go again and try to do better from here.
Because it's been a bit rocky, how difficult is it then to bring upgrades, sort of not knowing what you need to fix in a way?
No, we know what we need to fix. We know where the weaknesses are and where we need to work on, but rocky more in terms of, the problems that we have on the technical side, on the power unit side, losing results. I think we have a good idea about the car and what we want from it, so that shouldn't be too hard. We have updates like everyone here. We just now need to find out how well they work and where we then come out.
National hero Carlos Sainz. He's doing some singing. I'm not sure why.
If you ever need a new job, I think.
What are you singing? I don't know. What are you singing?
Cardi B and Bad Bunny.
Bugs Bunny.
Bad Bunny.
Who's
the most famous Latin trap singer of the moment.
Thanks for making me feel really old. I don't know. Steve's giving me the signal that I've just walked into a bad bit of light. Where do you want me to go? Around here? Here's here okay. Here's okay. Great. Okay. What we got? Yes, Carlos. Let's talk to him. Never been out-qualified by a teammate here in Spain, but has had a desperately unlucky start to this season. How's he feeling coming into his home race with the baseline package that he's got under him with the team, especially as Andreas Seidl starts work this weekend, or a couple of days ago actually, as the team's new team principal? What's he going to bring to the team? How's that going to change things, the dynamic within a squad which seems to be making all the right noises and all the right steps forward from what's been a tumultuous few years? And if you take Carlos's bad luck out of the equation, what's actually been a very promising start to the season?
Every year this is probably the highlight of my season, because I just enjoy a lot, racing with the fans, having my own grandstand, having my family always around, and racing in such a cool track like this one. So I don't know, it's just a cool weekend, so let's enjoy it.
I know the luck hasn't been on your side really for the first 4 races, but in terms of the car at your disposal, what you've learned of it, are you happy with it?
I'm happy. I'm happy, especially with how the team is working, how I am feeling with the car. Every time I hit the track, I just feel comfortable with everything. So, yeah, point of frustration because of those first 4 races. We could be easily with 10 points more on the table, but that's racing, that's Formula One, and hopefully here in Barcelona we start redeeming ourselves little by little.
Everybody's bringing a big upgrade package for this weekend. Is yours focused? Is it a general upgrade?
You can go and check now in the paddock, but I can tell you it's, I guess, as big as everyone's bringing here, a lot of new parts like we are doing, but the key is if it works or not. So hopefully it can work and we can start our development program here.
And obviously you've got a new boss coming in with Andreas. What kind of a change is he expected to bring? Do you expect him to bring?
Well, I expect Andreas obviously to bring a lot to the team, especially because wherever he's been, I think he's been pretty successful. And the little contact that I've had with him in the factory, at dinners, etc., I like everything I see, I like everything I hear. So hopefully he will start having a bit of an influence from now onwards, and give him time also to adapt, to get to new people, get to know the department, get to know where there's room for improvement, and let him do his job.
And the other new motorhome this weekend is down here at Sport Pacer Racing Point, and it is pretty phenomenal. It's a beautiful thing. A huge amount of work has gone into that for a weekend on which the team really has its rebirth. We've been talking to the drivers about it all year, and they said first 4 races, it's still an element of what was Force India. Barcelona is when the team properly becomes Racing Point. Nice new motorhome, isn't it? Yeah, I love it. You like it?
I love it.
How's your room?
Very big.
Yeah.
It's quite big. It's very nice, but also for the guests, and top terrace is also very nice.
Beautiful. Cool. Good luck this weekend. Thanks, Checo. Let's talk to Checo, actually. I spoke to him earlier. The guys were saying this is the weekend where it really becomes Racing Point, no longer Force India. The motorhome is reflective of that. The upgrades on the car, again, reflective of that, no longer having to make do. And we say this, having to make do, they've scored points in every race this year. A lot of expectation, a lot of hope down here at Sport Pacer Racing Point.
Considering the level of car that we had up to now and where we are, I think we are just only one point away from 4th in the constructors. So I'm very pleased with the start, given the competitiveness of our car. So at the moment, perfect start of the season, a dream one, but we have to keep delivering. You know, it's a difficult track for us now, so we have to deliver to our maximum here if we want to keep that 4th place in place.
Obviously, you know this track very well. Is there added pressure? You say it's a difficult track for you, but added pressure to perform, perhaps?
Everyone knows this track like his right hand, you know. So normally you see the grid as the cars are performing. So here is very important. The car is very difficult as a driver to make a difference around this place, but we will try. On Saturday, I think qualifying is very important around this place.
And when it comes to upgrades, what upgrades are you bringing and why? And how nice is it for you as a driver who's seen the team transition to be able to bring upgrades and participate in that fad here in Barcelona?
No, it's always very important, you know, to be able to see the new upgrades, see how the car performs. Normally this Grand Prix defines a lot of your season, so hopefully the upgrade is a good step forward, and that unlocks some performance of our car, and that will be very important for us.
So we were talking about pre-season testing, and when we left, I thought these guys had a shot at being 4th best team. It hasn't quite worked out that way over the opening races, but Raikkonen has been putting in blistering performances, I think, in every race, overcoming difficulties, starting from the pit lane in Baku, all that kind of stuff. Giovinazzi's not had it so easy in those early contests. Let's talk to him, though, about how he's finding his feet again in Formula One, and whether things have sort of come up to expectation for him and the team, and what they're hoping for from their upgrades this weekend.
Yeah, I expect a clear weekend first of all, I think pace in Baku was really good. Back in Europe now, I think winter test was quite good. First session of test was really good. Second one a little bit less, but I think we have a competitive car, and looking forward for my first points, to be honest. So I hope I can get here in Barcelona.
Looking back over those first 4 races, how much have you learnt, and how important will that be coming into this part of the season?
Yeah, a lot. Finally 4 races in my pocket, I would say. A lot of experience, bad and good experience. So I need to just put all together, especially in qualifying, because also here will be quite important because it's quite difficult to overtake. So put all together in qualifying, then I think we can have a good race.
And finally this weekend to Williams. Now they had expected to bring quite an exciting upgrade package for this weekend. That, however, had to get put on the back burner after the problems that they experienced in Baku, namely that manhole cover popping up and smashing George Russell's tub, and then obviously Kubica, which I always get pulled up on that by our Polish fans. It's not Kubica, it's Kubica. Robert Kubica's little moment in qualifying. Say little moment, demolished the car. Anyway, those upgrades having to take a little bit of a backseat just for the time being, but they are in the pipeline, and that in itself is a positive thing. Let's talk to George Russell. Interesting comments out of him during the week about how he's never had it easy in his career, and that's helping him, get to grips with what must be a disappointing start to his Formula One career.
We've got a couple of test items on the go, but unfortunately with everything that sort of happened in Baku, everything had to be dropped to sort of repair the chassis that got damaged. So it's really unfortunate, especially in our current predicament. So it might be a tough weekend for us, but we've got a lot of sort of great things behind the scenes, and we've got to take it step by step and probably focus towards later in the year to bring something of larger effect than dribs and drabs here and there.
So at the moment, is it mostly about sort of resolving the issues that you've got with the package that you have, rather than actually making any sort of beneficial, sort of competitive steps forward?
I think it's also understand. We know the issues, but we've got to test items to make sure that the direction we're going to go is actually going to work. And I think at the moment, race by race, we're throwing little bits on the car here just to get an understanding if we believe this is a good direction to go in. And we're getting some very good results at the moment. And I do have faith, we are going to go in the right direction. It's not going to be this weekend. We've just got to be patient. And like I said, it's a big rebuilding process, and everyone at Williams is still incredibly motivated. The team spirit is still really high, which is, it's really incredible to see considering everything. But that's where we are at the moment.
Saw some quotes from you earlier in the week that said your career up to this point has actually helped you to prepare for this, and that you've not had it easy your whole way through, and that actually that's given you the tools to deal with this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I know a couple of drivers who have had a perfect sort of junior career, and they get to a stage where they might have a difficult season, and you don't really know how to handle it because you're just used to winning here, there, and everywhere. And I think those tough times for me helped me to sort of evaluate everything and also look at myself. At the time when I had difficult moments, I was just blaming the equipment, and I'm not saying our equipment now is perfect, but it also shows me that in this difficult moment I can't afford to be making mistakes or not giving it everything. So like I said, I've been in similar situations before and I've got experience of it, so
And that is your lot from Paddock Pass here in Barcelona. I'm not going to make any predictions for this weekend because I've made them at every race so far, and they've instantly proved to be utterly wrong. With that in mind, have a great weekend. Enjoy it all. Can't wait to see how those upgrades pan out, how it affects the midfield battle, whether Williams can get into the mix. Admittedly, they haven't got the upgrade package they wanted, but every little helps down there at the moment. And of course, that battle up at the top. Can Red Bull catch up to Ferrari and Mercedes? Can Ferrari finally make good on all of that promise? Or is it the weekend where we come back here to the track where they dominated pre-season testing and witness properly that they have lost the advantage that we thought they had, or indeed never had it at all? Thanks for following along. Enjoy the weekend, and we'll see you later.